So we'll give it a minute or so for people come in here before we get started. All right, doing it. All right, for the 4 people in here, does the sound good? Sound good? I always got to test this out. I don't want to start and the sound's not good. Okay, well, the people in here. So we'll go ahead and get the show on the road. So thank you all for joining us this Wednesday afternoon. I'm sorry, Wednesday evening. I'm joined by University of Central Oklahoma defensive back Jalik Lewis, running back Payton Scott, and wide receiver Danny Armstead. Gentlemen, thank you for taking time this evening to come on and talk to me. We gotta obviously, there's a graduate on the screen here. We gotta congratulate Payton Scott there. Saw he walked Saturday, so I know he's showing his age a lot now.
Yeah, I know. Don't let all these guys get on my age. They call me grandpa in the locker room. A couple of them do.
Oh, that's tough. Oh man. I mean, I feel like that's kind of endearing in a way, though, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I mean, it's all jokes. I mean, what I've been through, I mean, playing 5 years, I feel like it's a badge of honor. So I tell them if they play 4 or 5 years, man, hey, you're going to be getting called grandpa at the end of the day too. So I let it happen.
Oh, that's great. Now I want to go ahead and start off with Payton now, because you mentioned you've been here 5 years. You're on your third or fourth position coach now. Like when I talked to Jay's last time, he just said you all had the mindset of like, it is what it is. Like, we got to just lead the best we can. So knowing this is your third or fourth different position coach, like how are you kind of approaching your final year?
I mean, football's football. I'll say that, like, to get that out the way. Like, no matter who they bring in, the position's going to stay the same. Outside zone's going to be outside zone. Inside zone's going to be inside zone. I mean, connecting with coaches is always a challenge, and, when they bring in somebody new, I always, have to get a feel for them because they got to get a feel for me. There's always that type of period for us, a kind of acclimation period in the relationship. So like getting into it, I think I really didn't have a change of mindset. Like, I just want to do my job. I want to lead others in my group, and I want to lead by example as well as much as I can. So I mean, it doesn't matter who they have at coach at my position. I want to do what they're telling me and, do it to the best of my ability.
Now, when I talked to Coach Skellenar a while back, now I think he mentioned they're having you practice at the A and B back, which I'm assuming one of those, because you said one of those is what Andrew Carney plays. I know Andrew Carney's a fullback. Now, I don't know if you listened to the tail end of last season. I was pretty adamant that, like, I understand that, like, you're a running back and you're all state running back, but I saw you at fullback the way you were stonewalling guys. I was like, I needed him to just hear me out here. We get Payton Scott on a fullback dive. You can't tell me if he busts through that front line. That's not a house call. So
I do it all. I try to do it all. They asked me to do it because Andrew broke his hand. So I came in and, I filled in, did the best that I could. I try to pride myself on being able to catch out the backfield block. And, fullback is kind of my nature. I grew up playing in a pro style. So like split back, offset I formation. So I always would transition, run traps out of being the fullback or dives out of being the fullback. So this is something that is just kind of by nature. And like, I can run anywhere. You put me at receiver and do an end around, I can run. So, or block.
We have our first question from the audience here from Mr. Brian Perry. I'm going to just pose it to the two of you all. He asked, how has Coach Doro changed the atmosphere at UCO?
I guess I'll take that since The other two haven't been here. So I think that the main thing is nutrition, really kind of being a guy who, is for the players and getting other things than just like equipment, or not even equipment, what I should say, like shirts and shorts, right? He's going out of his way to get us nutrition, set us up in the cafeteria. We do a lot of other things, whether it's brand building, not brand building, I should say culture building things where we interact with each other. We know what to expect, kind of what a standard is. And I'm not saying Bobak didn't do that, and I'm not saying he didn't do it well, but it's been a change in, just the culture and the approach to what the culture is wanting to be, whether that's in the weight room and whether that's in the classroom, whatever. The approach has kind of been upped a little bit because everybody feels like we have a chance to do something big.
And it's actually, since Payton's kind of the main one that was there beforehand, I wanna pivot to Jalik here. First, before I ask about the secondary, Jalik, I have to ask this question. I've been waiting a while to ask this question. I think you know what I'm about to ask. Against Northeastern State, why was that not a house call, sir? I'm sitting there like, oh, this is it. Like, this is it. He's there. He's reading it, and nothing, bro. I was like, come on. I went on, and I was like, all right, I saw the tape. I know there was a lot of deflections, but I'm like, I think the ball skills are there. Like, I know if it's a give me, he's going to make this interception. And the man didn't even, I was like, oh, bro.
Man, no comment, man. I just butter on my gloves. That play, man, just dropped it, man. That was a tough film session after that. I got picked on pretty good after that.
Tough, man. Tough. It's just, now because the secondary, I know it had its tough moments last year. I know you all lost Trayvon back there. You also lost Marco Domio and Von Derry, at least to graduation. So, like, what has the mindset of that unit kind of been like so far? Knowing, like, at times last year, you all were really good, and then at other times that wasn't the case. So, like, what kind of has been the mindset of you all during spring?
During spring, I think we've done a great job of adjusting to guys who aren't here. And we've just done a great job of adjusting to each other more and communicating more, even outside of football. Like, there was days in practice last fall or whatever where we would have a bad individual session, or we'd have a bad day in class, and we bring it on the field, and it's a bad day for everyone. We've learned to put all that aside and work together better as a defense and talk and help each other more and understand not only our position but other positions as well if someone goes down. So we've just done a better job of understanding each other.
Another question from Mr. Perry here. He asked, are the facilities helping with recruiting? Now, obviously, Payton signed before that was a thing. So this might be more of a question geared towards Danny and Jalik here. So I'll open the floor up to anybody, but specifically you all, because you all kind of have reaped the rewards of that. Did that help make your decision in coming to UCO, seeing the facilities that are now here?
The facilities are definitely a great benefactor, but I think Doral has done a great job of surrounding the players with such great coaches and great people that the facilities, they do come, and it's a great thing to see those. But the people that we get to interact with on these visits, the times that the coaches bring the players out and the coaches come out and actually communicate with the kids, I think that's a great job. And we have some really good coaches that just understand us, and I appreciate that.
Ben, you have anything to add to that?
I think having facilities is real important. I feel like it just shows like how much the school is like behind football, and like how much money they put into facilities really show like how much they want to win and attract recruits. So a lot of schools that don't have like the best facilities, like it could show like their money's towards a different sport or like they don't really care as much. But it really makes UCO stand out at the Division II level for sure.
And for Payton, because you have a different perspective on this, you signed, I believe, like when Performance Center was either just like an artist rendering or like in the process. So you being here.
Whoa! Let's back up right here. It was built. We just were moving into it. I had a summer in the and a fall camp in the original building. I didn't work out in the dungeon. I worked out right next to Textbook Brokers, where the new esports building is. They had like a little weight room in there. But I think that the facilities do make a difference. Like Danny said, like you stand out, And I know other people in our conference, are bumping up their facilities. So it's always good to still be like, because I'm not, I've been here for 5 years. Danny's new. To see that it does stand out still, like that makes me happy.
And then going back to Danny here now, you're a transfer receiver. We had you on. Now that receiving core had got an influx of very explosive playmakers. You being one of them, I saw some of the highlights that you may or may not have sent me. But regardless, I've seen some footage. Not gonna lie, looking very promising. So, as a receiving unit in the spring, how do you all feel like you started to mesh well, given kind of all the new faces in that group?
Yeah, I think besides TD, Delso, and Ridge, the whole receiver room was kind of gone. So Coach Curley, he brought in a lot of transfers from JUCO or the portal. So it was like all offseason we were trying to get chemistry with the new transfer quarterback too from Moso. So it was like kind of tough like at the beginning because we didn't have the chemistry and the timing down. But over the spring, just getting a lot of reps really like helped pay off. And like just like having a bunch of new guys that didn't really earn their stripes or like show what they could do yet, like just trying to prove to like other teammates or the coaches that they can trust them and they're good players was really helping like the competition throughout the group. And I feel like Coach Curley did a good job of always moving us around in the depth chart. So one day you're a 1, one day you're down the 3s, the next day you're a 2. It's just however you played. Like no matter if you've been here, you scored. Next day you could be with the 3s. I mean, after the first day, there was a freshman receiver, Kev. He came from 3s to 1s already after one practice. So it just gave like people lower in the depth chart some hope. And then it just showed like even if you're starting right now, you got to be working every day or like you gonna just drop down because it's a lot of competition. Everybody can play.
And Jalik, being a defensive back, having to go up against these guys in practice, what have you seen from that unit from the perspective of a defensive back?
They're trash. Nah, I'm playing, man. They definitely make us better in the mental and physical aspect of football, man. They challenge us every day because we know if we're not it doesn't matter if we're having a good or bad day, man. They're coming to play, and I love it. I love their drive and their competitiveness every day because it just makes us better. It just makes us better every day. And I think they become a really solid foundation of a wide receiver group, man. And they just got to keep building. I love it.
And the Payton now, that running back room has kind of also had some reshuffling. There's been some departures. There's been some additions there. What have you seen from your fellow backs in the spring that should give UCO fans excitement about your unit?
I would say Jalen Cottrell, he kind of expanded his role, as a running back. He really got moved into it last spring. So adjusting to just playing the position isn't just like something that some people can pick up. And I'm not saying Jalen didn't. It's just the physical aspect of it is something to get used to. I should say how I should rephrase it. Getting used to that physical element kind of takes more than just a semester or two in it. You got to build that mindset. And I feel like Jalen really just, built upon his game and really changed a lot of his things that, they said that he kind of was lacking at. And then Andrew Carney came back, with his hand at the end of the year, and he really showed a lot of good things. So, I mean, people should be excited. Trayvon's coming in, Will Fort. So that's going to be a good addition. And I think one other running back. So, I mean, it should be an exciting room, and we're going to have a lot of people who can do a lot of different things, not just, one thing.
And another quick question here from Mr. Perry. He asked, which team in the MIAA gives UCO the most trouble? Now, obviously, Danny's new, so this might be a question for Jalik and obviously for Payton. He's been here a while. So I guess I'll ask Payton first, since you've been here for 5 years now. Which team, in your opinion, within the conference gives you all the most trouble?
Depends on like how you want to phrase that question. I feel like there's been some teams like Moso. I feel like we've been at this, better talent, and we've lost, and we haven't played up to our, our talent level, and they've given us trouble. Or, like Pittsburgh State, we've had close games in the past when I was here, but we haven't beat them since 2014, I think. So I would say Pittsburgh State, because I mean, I've seen some good close games before, but we haven't really beat them consistently or really at all since 2014. And I hate to say that, but I would say Pittsburgh State.
Now, speaking of Pittsburgh State here, I probably should have asked somebody this a while ago. Now, back in 2021, you remember that game? They called that penalty on you all on the punt. Did they ever explain what that penalty was? Because I'm still convinced if Pitt State punched you all at football, the way the offense was going, you all were going to win that football game. So did they ever tell you what that penalty was?
And we were on punt return.
Yeah, I think you all had got to stop, and then they called a punt and they called a flag and gave them a first down. They ran the clock out.
I was on that unit. I'm pretty sure we either lined up in the neutral zone or, I'm pretty sure we just lined up in the neutral zone.
Okay, yeah, because they never said on the live stream, so I didn't.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, yeah. I'm pretty sure it's just a neutral zone infraction.
Oh yeah, that one was tough because you all were down 19 in the fourth, and you fought back. Yeah.
Well, and in my very first year here, when I was a redshirt, we were down, I think 35-7 or something like that, and came back, and we had a chance, and they kicked the field goal to beat us. So, yeah, it's just Pitt State's giving us a lot of trouble.
Okay. Now I would turn back to Jalik, because down the stretch, a lot of your fellow freshmen in the secondary got some burn. And it was late in the season when there was still some meaningful games. You all were getting decent amount of reps out there. So, as a true freshman, kind of knowing the magnitude of the games that you all were in, I know against Kearney, there was Central Missouri on senior day. There was Washburn, I think. You all were getting some real snaps. How did you kind of manage that, maybe that nervousness or that pressure of knowing here I am in meaningful parts of this game, and they're trusting me to go out here against really good receivers and make something happen?
It was just the preparation that the coaches put us through day by day in practice, man, and meetings. We were always, especially freshmen, it seemed like we were always over-prepared because you never knew when we were going to go in, if this was the game that we get to play a lot of snaps or no snaps. So it was more or less like when we were in meetings, everything that they talked about, we wrote down. It didn't matter if it was pertaining to us or if it wasn't, different position, our position, wrote it down. And then when we got in practice, we took a lot of mental reps going against the defense sometimes when they needed bodies, just so we can see how it correlates and how things should be. So we just that's how the coaches prepared us. I think they gave us a lot of information good for us, and I mean it can never be enough.
And to Danny, you mentioned a minute ago, trying to get the chemistry down with the quarterbacks on this staff. There's Dawson Hurl, the Missouri Southern transfer. How do you feel like you all as a unit and you personally are in terms of building that chemistry with both those guys. Oh, David, can't hear you, sir.
My fault. I think we just really needed the spring just to like get comfortable with the offense. It's a new playbook, and for a lot of guys, they never ran like a style like this school. So like me personally, I never ran like I formation stuff for none of that. And most of the schools where the people came from, they never ran that. So just like learn the playbook, like getting comfortable with the schemes and like formations, and like just getting thrown in there and then just having to make plays really helped all of us. And like by the end of the spring, you could tell like most of the receivers were definitely comfortable, and like just like the first string, second string, third string, you really don't know who's starting because like we all were making plays and there was no drop off. So I think like we progressed at a normal rate, and like we just gonna keep progressing heading into fall camp.
And I know you mentioned earlier when you were naming the top 3 guys. You mentioned Madison Ridgeway. That's a guy. He was hurt early on. He had a really good game against Fort Hays. I know people were excited. Well, maybe I was excited to see that. What have you seen out of him that maybe should really have people kind of keep more of an eye out on him? Because obviously all the influx of talent, he might kind of get lost in there. But I just know from what I saw last year, Madison's a dude.
Yeah, for sure. I think just bringing in more guys to push him really helped. And like he was always competing just as much as the next guy. So he really just impressed me. And like every time he made a lot of big plays, like just as much as anybody else in the room. So it was real easy to just look up to him for like if I needed help with just routes and like just being like a leader throughout the receiver group. Even though most of the receivers, we all just lead, all of us, but he was definitely someone you could look up to if you like needed to know the play or just like watch, like if we're doing indie, to watch how this is done, and just like going out there and making plays was real important for us as a group, for sure.
And I want to go to Payton real quick because now you are the elder statesman in the room. Like it's literally you, and then there's like a drop in terms of experience and stuff. So kind of you played with Clay McKenzie, I think, I believe. Right? Okay, you played with Clay McKenzie. You played with guys like T.J. Roberts. You played with a lot of guys. So kind of knowing that, like, has that helped shape maybe your leadership style, or are you approaching it with your own way of being a leader within that room?
I'll say this: TJ and Clay were a big part of my college development at the position. I'll say that 100 times. And I think we all have different leadership ways, and I've always taken the way, how people interact with others, more so of how they lead others. How do others interact outside of football, inside of football? How do they interact? What makes others tick? Why are they friends almost? Why do they go to each other? So, that's what I kind of built from those two. And like when it comes to leadership, I have a unique way of leading. So I kind of try to stick to the way I lead. So, but I feel like those guys played a big part in just teaching me about the game, and kind of just how little knickknacks about, technique stuff about running the ball, because we all run the ball different.
Mr. Perry has a question. I'm not sure if he's directing that towards me or to you all as well, so I'll just pose it to the panel here. He asked, have there been any former players who have talked to you about UCO's past traditions? Now, I know for me, John Fitzgerald is a very big one. The color commentator on the games. Obviously, he's a Hall of Famer. He was there in some of the best days of the program. And then I just know, like, some of the guys Payton played with, right? There's Trey Wormington, guys like Eli Hooks, right?
Colton McKenzie. Colton Lindsay, I'm sorry. Clay Clay's kind of been in Texas, but he's shown up. I know Jake Gandra, he's came through. I'm trying to think of some others because I know Josh Birmingham's been pretty, he does videoing for the games and stuff, but he came talk to the team before these two were on the team. But Coach Kalelo, Coach K, he's trying to make that a thing. He brought somebody in and talked to us about kind of like the tradition in the 2000s, because a lot of it's been more recent, you know.
Yeah, and I think that's interesting dynamic here because Danny and Jalik, like Danny's being new, but like Jalik came last year, and that was the first winning season you all have had since 2019. So I feel like there's kind of a difference when he signed.
Would have been 2018, right? 2018.
Oh yeah, 2018. Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah. So when he signed, it was different than when Payton Scott signed because Payton Scott signed. You know, they're coming off record-setting offenses.
Yeah,
7-8 win seasons.
Jarrell Jackson sold me a good pie.
So it is kind of weird to seeing that difference. So, like to the three of you, obviously last year was a great step in the right direction. You got the winning record, but I feel like there was still some meat left on that bone. How are you all approaching this offseason to make sure that next year, that this coming season is even better than last season?
Jalik, you can take that.
We're taking more of the we approach instead of the me approach, which was a bad thing last year. We had a whole lot of me situations on the field. You know, this guy battling against this guy, and we're on the same team. When we're out on that field, we're wearing the same jersey. I mean, that's my brother. We're taking the step in the right direction of holding guys accountable. Instead of saying the me, it's we. We are a team. We are holding each other accountable, and we're taking great steps and bounds into that direction. But it only goes up from here, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I think is going to be the game changer from this season to last season.
Yeah. And I'd like to add, like, I think we have to build consistency, and this is something that we always talk about, is like being consistent through a work week. And that's something that I felt like we started to understand in aspects of how we went about each other with grades and things like that throughout the years, really understanding what it means to be consistent, rather than being like a boom bust type of person, whether that's in the weight room, whether that's in the classroom, film, on the field, you know, trying to stay consistent. We don't need great one day and bad the other. We just need a good line of being good, if that makes any sense.
And I know Danny being new, like have you kind of seen what both Payton and Jalik have said as far as playing for each other and kind of stringing together a row of good days consistently?
Yeah, for sure. I think one of the things that it can all go back to leadership. And definitely I can say for the receiver position, we don't have like one big leader for all of us. We kind of just lead as a group, and everybody just like listens to everybody. Like, we don't have no fights. We just all understand each other. And I think that's real key. And then like you can see how it just like helps us when we're actually going out there and playing. And I think the number one thing we need to work on at receivers is consistency, for sure. And I think there was a lot of days where we're one hand catching, we're going like 80% completion in Skelly, or we catching all the balls in there. Some days where everybody dropping in, and like just having a bad day is kind of contagious. And we just like talked about like all the like drops is contagious, not trying is contagious. You see someone else do it, you gonna feel comfortable not to do it. So the number one thing we like gonna work on going into fall camp in the season is definitely consistency and like having high expectations across the board.
We have another question from Mr. Perry, which I think is a good one here. He asked, which player hits the hardest? I guess I should probably pose Payton first. He's a running back. I know he's hit quite a bit. So who would you say currently is the hardest hitter on the team?
We've only had like kind of like a couple, live scrimmages, and I haven't really got dinged like that. And that's not saying that nobody hits hard. Let me put this out there. No, I'm not saying nobody hits hard. I just haven't been dinged like that. So I do know Jack Puckett does come with that stuff in that run. Like in blocking's a different story, but like when we're blocking, Jack Puckett, that's a big fella. And then Hudson comes with that stuff on
for real
construction. Hey, Danny can attest on that. You know, it's hard blocking. It's hard blocking Hudson, and I'll tell you, it's hard blocking Jack Puckett. You know, it's very hard blocking both of those people. And obviously, I'd say, like, you know, shouts out to my big man, Hunter Largent. I mean, that's a big guy. Anytime he touches you, you feel it. Him and Zane, you feel it.
Yeah, for sure.
Jalik, you have a preference on who you think hits this the hardest on your fellow defensive unit there?
Yes, me. Now I'm playing.
Side eye.
Man, Buck. Dylan Buck.
Well, I forget.
Ooh.
I'm sorry. I forgot he was.
Man, when
he was hurt. He was hurt. He was at the back end of the spring. I'm sorry. Dylan Buckeye, hands down, hits the hardest.
When he hits, he hurts me, and I'm not being hit.
100%.
You feel it.
Yeah, no. Dylan Buckeye hits the hardest. There's nobody who compares to him. I'm sorry, guys.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. I forgot. He was hurt, and he didn't play in the last 2 scrimmages, so I did forget that Dylan Buckeye comes with that. And Shout out Dylan Buckeye.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
That's that John Lynch. That's that John Lynch. I'm being 100% like Buck does not care. Buck does not care. He doesn't care if you're his friend, if you're his teammate, if you're on defense with him, on special teams with him, friendly fire. Marlo's the same way. Marlo just a friendly fire. We'd be in film watching Come On Man, or we'll be giving out pink nails. Marlo getting hammers on his own teammates.
Yeah, I felt like I saw a few times last year Marlo just flying in it. I was like, Marlo, now we got to be hitting the right color jersey, my guy. Just flying in there.
Nah, trigger, just fly in there, my man.
It's like Marlo now. That's
those two will fly in there no matter what and hit whatever.
Man,
driver.
Now, I have to ask. Now, were you ever hit by Jakari Hunt at all?
No, but I don't think. I think there was guys on that team that hit harder than Jakari.
Oh yes, at 100%.
Yeah. But Jakari did come with that, you know. But Dylan Hall before this, like, Dylan Hall was a brick. So there's some times he hit me in practice and I felt it for a couple of minutes. And I'll tell you this, a guy in the past also, Colby Underwood. He's a very, you know, small guy. He was like 160. I'm probably giving him some pounds. But Colby Underwood came with – that's my only concussion ever. He hit me on the sideline. Only concussion ever. So
really? Okay. I would not have thought that.
He came with it. He was a smaller guy. Hey, but he was a Texas kid. So, hey, he had a knack.
So what we're saying then is that then with by that logic, then Jalik technically being a Texan, then he's got to uphold that legacy now. And
well, I mean, if you're from Texas, you gotta. I mean, you gotta. They claim the best football, so you gotta uphold that. And which I'm not saying. We have debates in the locker room at lunch. I'm a guy who's like, Texas is way better than Oklahoma. There's a couple teams that can compete with some Texas teams, but there was 30 guys drafted from Texas. There's 4 from Oklahoma. So,
well, Jalik, I hate, I guess now you're gonna have to make some hits this year. I feel like you've kind of been, you got to carry that on now. I think he's kind of issued a challenge. The Texans in the past been hard hitters. Now you got to uphold
just playmakers. They just been playmakers. I give it that.
That was definitely a shot fired.
Man, Jalik got the D tackle.
I mean, he just said, Texas kids hit. I'm sorry. My bad. I'll just start hitting you from now on.
Whoa. You got to put Jalik with a bounty on my head. I was just saying Texas kids hit hard. Jalik's a good tackler.
No, hey. Not a good tackler. Jalik's not good. Look.
Wow, Jalik Lewis, you gonna do that to me?
Yeah.
Now, I do have to ask Jalik now because when I was looking at the stats last year, right, I saw Kobe Stevens had an interception or two, Monte Davis had an interception or two, I think Trayvon Craig had an interception or two, Aaron Hamilton had an interception or two, and I'm just sitting there thinking like, Jalik should be on this list. So, are you getting an interception this year? Like, are you going to atone for Northeastern State drop? Like, I feel like you're obligated to get a pick this year.
I also feel like I'm obligated to get many picks this year. Yeah. It will atone for the drop pick six against Northeastern.
Okay. Now, Danny, I'm just saying, you might got to offer some pointers there. I just because again, like I'm gonna have to send you that clip that he had, the dropped pick six he had against Eastern State. He floated it out there. Like, that's the part that made it worse. It wasn't like it was a bullet pass. It was floated out in the flat.
We need them.
And it just it's bad. It's bad. Now, going to back to the league. Now, you all lost at least 3 contributors. You all lost at least 3 contributors to graduation there. So, like, how has that kind of battle been to get those reps that guys like Vaughn and Trayvon and Marco had last year? Like, how is that competition going to fight for those snaps?
I think that competition has it's doing a really good job for us on the DB side because you got Maury Ray, Mekhi Belt, Monte Davis. You got guys like that. They're just fighting on a day-to-day basis, trying to get that spot. Because honestly, there is no solidified spot in that corner room just because they're all fighting so much. Like Keyshawn and Tavius McDonald, they're all working hard every day, trying to get bigger, trying to get faster, and they're all just perfecting their craft to the point where there's times they don't even come out like on practice. They don't even come out. They take everybody's reps because they want to get that much better. They want to go to that next level with their game, and I enjoy it. I like it. I love seeing it on film. When guys don't come out, they just stay consistent.
I need to address a question here by Mr. Perry. Mr. Perry, I have reached out to a few wrestlers. Nothing's developed yet. I did have one with Dalton Abney, but we kept having to change times, and we haven't linked up. So definitely going to try to do more of that in the future because I know honestly that's a very good program.
Shout out
to the wrestling. Yeah, they're solid.
Man, natty,
solid. I guess for Danny now, because you mentioned this, it's a lot of like you might be first string one day, third string the next day. So kind of knowing the up and down of that depth chart, like how do you kind of not get too down when you see your name move down a peg and not get too up when you see your name moved up a peg?
Yeah, I think it's hard not to get like too up when you move up. Definitely when you just got here. But I think definitely when you're down, you just got to stay consistent and trust your time's going to come. Because even if you're going with the 3s or the 2s, you still going to get reps like in one-on-ones or skelly, and like you still going to get team reps. So when like the ball's thrown to you, you just got to make a play. And like really when you down like at the 3s or 2s, every time the ball comes to you, it's like you want to score with it just to like move up. So I think it like does a real good job helping.
And I want to go to Payton because being an elder statesman, you've seen a lot of games. Now, I harped on that Northeastern State game last year because the level of execution that I saw, mainly in that first half, but really throughout that whole game, I feel like I had not seen that in my time covering dating back to pretty much when you signed. Would you have agreed with that statement? Like that was the most. Because it seemed like after that first run by Northeastern State, like a switch was flipped and it was just like a thorough beatdown time. Mm-hmm. Like, did you kind of feel like that was different than maybe other blowout wins in the past?
I mean, I think that for this team, it was crucial. You know, I know in the past when we blew out team, we blew a team, NSU out, we scored 80 on them, right? It wasn't important for us as much as, we needed that. I feel like that NSU team was a lot better than the NSU team we played, when we beat them by 80, or a Lincoln team, and to blow them out and like how we execution is so crucial on the offensive side, being able to execute consistently. And that's what we showed in that first half is just, a team that if we do our jobs right, that's going to be the outcome. And it really doesn't, really matter who's on the other side. It's about our execution,
So then as a follow-up, I want to pose this to both Payton and Jalik because they were here last year. Knowing then that that's what this team is capable of, when that's the case, how can you all go about trying to get that for 11 of 11 games instead of maybe say 5 or 6 out of 11 games? Like how can you all kind of build towards making that where like people know that that's what you're going to see out of a UCO a team every time they step on the field?
It's just what we've been beating on the whole time. The biggest word that I've heard all day is consistency, man. It's just we as a group have to be consistent with everything that we do. We have to be consistent with Monday. We have to be consistent with Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and so on. And we can't allow a bad day to stop us from still being consistent and being good and focusing on what's the big goal. And the bigger goal is going to be 11, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And that's and that comes in the summer, really building in the summer. We're gonna, I know all of us can attest to this. The summer is a really building block. It's a real building session for this team, and knowing each other outside of football is something that I feel like hasn't happened in the past. And like with meal plans and stuff like that were added on, you were eating after, workouts on campus, and guys who are off campus who you usually wouldn't see are on campus now. So like building those interactions helps us really connect with each other, to really check each other and keep each other accountable. It's not a stranger, it's a guy you see all the time, a guy you talk to all the time. So yeah, focusing on that, us being focused and being consistent is like that main thing in the summer that we're going to be building. And, we do things internally to grade everybody and check everybody. And that's something that we're going to do as leaders, and, people who aren't even the leaders on the team. We're going to try to check each other and try to be, the highest accounted, out of everybody in this league, hopefully.
I know Mr. Perry has a question. I'm gonna wait on that because that's something I feel like can be saved for the end. I will get to it, Mr. Perry. I promise I will. So you all you mentioned the summer. So I pose this to each of you. Like, what are you all's goals for the off season? What do you hope to accomplish to set each of yourselves up for great success heading into fall camp?
The thing that's gonna set us up for the greatest success is gonna be like what P. Scotty said, man. Hanging out outside of football is gonna be big for us. Like, there's things that me and P. Scotty might relate on, but there's things me and Danny, we don't know about each other. But man, it's just the relations outside of football, and when summer comes, hanging out, going to eat with each other, and then we work out to each other. Danny's gonna know how to push me even more, and I'm gonna know how to push Danny even more when we start connecting and building bonds. Just like P. Scotty knows how to push me a lot better than a lot of people, but that's because he knows he can trust me and I can trust him. And it correlates. It's gonna help us a lot when we get into the summer. I think we've done a great job of building that bond in the off season so far, but it only goes higher. We can only take more steps. We can't go backwards. Danny.
I think one thing we need to work on as an offense is like just consistency, because there was a lot of days where we was just doing whatever we wanted to the defense, and there were sometimes the defense was picking us off every player, or like picking us off, or like we couldn't get no yards. So I think just with the quarterbacks, just and the receivers, just getting the chemistry down and like knowing who to go through on each player, just like feeling comfortable and trusting the receivers. And I think just same with the O line, just everybody just getting chemistry and just like getting the timing down.
Yeah, I think all of this is just us getting mentally stronger. I feel like us the physical side's gonna come, and that's our job. The physical, that's why we're athletes. But the mental strength aspect of it, that's what we have to improve on as a whole, as a team, and we got some maturing to do as a whole as a team. So if we're mentally strong, and when we are, there's no if, I'm sorry, when we come back out of the summer mentally stronger than we did in the spring, that's also going to carry us for 11 games, is the mental strength that we're going to have and the physical strength. But that's what's going to build everything, and help everything on the field is our mental strength. And Coach K is going to do a great job, and the strength and conditioning coaching staff is going to do a great job of preparing us mentally and physically for our task ahead.
Now, I feel obligated to ask this question now, Danny. Now, when you said there was days the defense just was picking you off, what was the man whose video above you now, was he one of those people that was getting the interceptions? Like, I feel like I have to ask this question.
I'll let him answer that.
You'll let me answer that? Your answer is correct.
For sure.
Okay, wait. So we have tangible evidence then that he can get an interception.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I need to see it this year, because if not, I'm telling you, come game 11, if there is not an interception next to your name in the stat sheet, I'm gonna come to you and be like, "Hey, I just remember way back in May."
He has it on his SD card. He just has it on his SD card on his external drive. I got a little video of you.
Pull the clip up, be like, "Now you said you were getting an interception this year." So, okay, well, good. Well, we have a few questions here. The first question from Mr. Brian Perry asked, who has the best music collection on the team?
Payton Scott. What?
I mean, me and Jalik, we're on the same level. I'm old. I'm 23, but I got a taste like I'm 45, 50.
And that's why.
So, I listen to everything, but I know a lot of people on the team would not want to listen to, a lot of the stuff I listen to. So I'm not going to say I got the best.
Danny, do you have an opinion on who you think the best?
I say the best is probably Kev, a little freshman receiver, and then I say the worst is Cayman Bradford. Ooh,
they listen to the same music. What you talking about? You're right. Kev listens to a little bit more Lil Baby and a little bit Lil Durk. You're right, but
that's smooth.
It's all old NBA young boy. Like,
who came to listen to?
Just NBA young boy.
Trippy Red, Lil Uzi Vert.
Right. Oh yeah, he got a little 6'9" in there too.
6'9"? That's nah.
It's a stylistic thing. It's a stylistic thing in the locker room. Mm-hmm. Some people would really enjoy that vibe. That's what I'm just saying.
Okay. Now that just makes me a follow-up question, because when I brought Hunter Largen on, now he took great offense to people saying he was bad on the ox because they don't know real country. Now, I just want to give you all a chance there to address that. Is that the case, or is it just
he has to read the room? He has to read the room.
He has great country music. Hunter Largen has some of the best country music playing in the locker room, but he plays it at the wrong time, like right before the game. I don't want to hear country music. That is not the time to play country music before the game.
Nobody.
I don't want to hear it.
Nobody wants to hear that.
Nobody want to hear it. Period.
I want to hear.
Hey, I say this. You gotta let it happen. You gotta let it happen a little bit.
That that make me not want to play football. Yeah.
So you're telling me, Danny, if we walked in and it's just like we had a team meeting that day, right? No football or whatever. And they're playing country in the locker room. Like, that's just how it is, man. Like, you think those guys walk in and want to hear NBA Youngboy? No.
I want to hear it.
I don't even want to hear it.
I want to hear it.
I don't.
Yep. Yeah.
But that's the point. Everybody has different music tastes.
Yeah.
And he has good music. Just nobody wants to hear that right now.
Oh, it's tough out here. It's tough out here on the aux. Now we do have a question from you all's. Well, not the Jalik and Payton's former teammate Dante McGee. He asked, and I'm pretty sure he's hoping that he's the answer to this question. Which old head do y'all miss the most? Love y'all boys.
Sabor Daniels. I'm joking. I was gonna name somebody really, really off kilter, but yeah, we love Dante. We miss all our old heads. We miss Slater. We miss Rob Fuentes. I mean, we miss him on Jordan Levu. I can go down the list, man. I'll say this, like, I love those guys because, you know, a lot of those guys were the guys who went through, you know, a transition and didn't know what was on the other side, but stuck it out. So that takes a lot of courage, and that takes, you know, a lot of confidence in yourself.
Jalik, you have a old head that you miss the most? Yeah,
Can't hear you.
Can't hear you, sir.
No.
No, bro.
What did you do? Yep. No.
Okay. Well, while he rejoins, we'll go to the next question by Mr. Perry. He asked, "What are your majors and your plans after college?"
You got it.
Oh, okay, I'll do it. Well, my degree was in professional media. I had a minor in public relations. I'll be pursuing my master's degree in strategic communications. It's leadership and communications. But I'll be GA-ing after I get done playing and in college. I'll be
hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
What was the question asked? I didn't hear any of it.
Okay. So the first question was, do you have an old head that you miss the most?
That I miss the most? Oh, 100%. Man, Trayvon Craig, in this order specifically. Trayvon Craig.
This is top 5.
Rob Slater, Levu. Then we're gonna have to jump a little bit, and Dante's at the bottom. And we'll put like Vaughn and DeMarco and
yeah, you're funny. You're funny.
Wow.
You're funny. You're funny. Shouts out to Marco. Shouts out to my man Marco.
Shout out to all my
Vaughn. Yeah, I was about to say.
So how you gonna do Dante early like that, though, bro? Come on, put the man last, bro.
Nah, I really do appreciate those older guys, man. They taught me a lot in the short time that I was here, especially Dante, man. Dante taught me he just taught me how to eat in the caf, how to be smart in the cafeteria. That's a dude you need to go to when you need some advice on eating. He's gonna let you know.
That guy
beans in the pork.
That guy was the guy who was here when it was just a sketch. He was recruited on the dream.
Him and Johnny.
Him and JD.
Him and Johnny. Yeah.
I at least saw the building. You know, I knew it was possible, but they were like, "Hey, we might be building this."
Right. Okay.
Yeah, bro. Like they were there when the coach's office was like in the corner of Hamilton Fieldhouse.
Hey, I was here. Hey, I was there for that. But
Pitt remembers that like small crammed office. You know.
You know, I played Dante in high school when he was at UConn.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
When was that?
I'm not. It was 2016.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. These guys would say I played in 1983 or something. Yeah, I played Dante when he was at UConn.
tough. I mean, listen, the man's highlights on Huddle are in HD. Thank you very much. All right, you gotta let him lay off the man here. Now,
they had him listed at 6'7" when we were in high school. He played safety. He played linebacker. He played tight end.
Bro, wait, they have us at 6'7".
Yeah, he's like 6'4".
Bro, well, okay, I can't say too much because they have us at 275. I think
that's right. No, that's right. I hope he stayed watching, and that is his correct weight is 275. He's 10 pounds lighter than Daxton Williams. I hope he's watching.
Yeah, I saw that, and I asked him. I was like, Dante, now I'm going to ask you. They say you have a 275, and he's like, no. Man. Oh wait, now Doc's gonna come in and say, "Man, we ain't gotta bring up them high school days. My team was duty cheeks.
They were 0-10. They were 0-11, and they played 10 games.
Oh, the shade. That's tough, man. That's tough. Okay, well, Danny, what is your major and your plans for after college?
I'm majoring in general studies, and I plan to coach high school football.
Yeah. Jalik, what's your major and your plans after college?
My major is mass communications, and I really want to get into some type of form of sports broadcasting.
Okay, good. Okay. I know Payton hosts the what is that show? The show you on Brannick do, right? Isn't that something that Brannick and
well, we did Inside Bronco Sports.
Yeah, there we go.
Inside Bronco basketball during the season, and Brannick was hosting, and we'd have Bob Hoffman on, and I did some directing on that as well as some producing. And then we did the Inside Bronco Sports, so I hosted, and then I did some reporting as well.
Okay, yeah. So if I was lit, I'll get into that. I know you're a mass comm, so
hey, I've seen your reel. I've seen your reel. Let me say this before we get on. I've seen your reel coming out of your whole portfolio, capstone. That's who they show for sports. So.
Who? Tell me who? Mine?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
I don't remember what I had on that thing, bro. Because I know
your website, the whole thing.
Really, they had that. Maybe they did.
Yeah,
it's been so long now. I don't know because I don't even know what was even in there, bro. I really couldn't even tell you what was in there because I know Trevor Stone and we did like radio, the campus radio, and then
you're right. I saw that.
Yeah, because I was the sports editor for the Vista, so I kind of took liberties on the football coverage and.
That's what I do right now. I'm the sports editor.
Oh, would you look at? Okay, now I have to say this. You got to make sure there's somebody there for every home game pay. I'm not gonna lie to you. Okay. Last year there was no one there from the Vista. It hurt my soul. I'm like, why is there no one here?
Well, thank you for telling me that. I'll
so I'm gonna need someone that because I got at least one person there. Like, I took it.
Yeah, I took it over in the spring.
Okay.
So.
Okay, good.
So I'll be doing it in the fall as well. So
okay, please do because there was like nobody there, and I was like, "What are we doing?" And I asked Brannick, and he's like, "I have no clue." Okay, good. Yeah, because that's gonna change. Yeah. Well, okay. So Dante also chimed in. He said, "Quote: I've never weighed 275, not ever. The max I weighed was 265 this past season. He was 245. So okay,
He was probably 250. That's a lie. He's probably 250. He was not 245. Man.
Dante was 300 my whole life.
Nah. I like to give him a little stuff because Daxton. I played with Daxton. Daxton's a good friend of mine, good friend of Dante's, and Daxton was maybe 300 pounds. That might be a shot at him, but he was 285 for sure, 290 for sure. So, and Coach Donald calls him fat all the time. And they have a little nickname, but I won't say that on here. But yeah, they call him fat all the time. But I think you look good just the way you are, Dante.
Oh, it's tough out here.
Dude, don't bring up Ross. Don't bring up the trainer. He has no credibility in this. In this argument, he has no credibility. I'm sorry.
Oh man.
That's the wrong person to bring up in this for credibility. I'm sorry.
Tough. It's tough. Now, I feel obligated also to ask you, Payton, because I know when you came on here the first time, and the background picture was you wearing the yellow pants, and I know this year the yellow pants finally made their glorious return. How satisfying was it for you when you learned the yellow pants was going to make a return?
Well, we won a game in them, so I knew they weren't cursed. But I think the yellow pants are a good look. I don't know. I think we will have yellow pants, a new look yellow pants this year. So I know that's something you'll like to see. There'll be a little bit of a uniform change from the Chos. I give that little tidbit out. But the yellow pants are the best. I like them. I love them. I want some more of them.
Yeah, good. Yeah, because I brought that to Coach Doyle's attention. I was like, I'm just going to say this because Brandon Scott's really hounding for the yellow pants to make a comeback. So, and I saw that, I was like, this man has to be feeling some kind of satisfaction knowing
I love yellow pants. That's my favorite color. So
that the yellow pants is back.
Sandite. I'm a Sandite.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And now I know that you did mention teasing the new uniforms. I gotta say that all white combo you all broke out against Northeastern State. I was like, man.
Yeah, they are nice.
I mean, because I'm used to that old gray alternate that they used to wear on this. You know what I'm talking about?
That's a specialist. That's a specialist wear right now. Shouts out to my guys DP, Darren Perry. Shouts out to those guys in gray. Shouts out to my guys in gray.
Like those used to be like the home opener, like every year. That was the year. That was the jersey. So I'm glad that we've evolved to what we did. Like I'm not gonna like Danny and Jalik don't know this, but like there was a time where we didn't think we'd ever see a white helmet again. Like
might not happen again.
Like it just was. What? Oh
no! I'm joking.
You can't just bring the white helmets now. Yeah, like I never forget what was that? That the Missouri Western game post-COVID with the white helmet. I remember seeing that and I was like, oh boy, like we have arrived now.
Yeah, first game post-COVID. That was a great game.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, like when that white helmet first debuted, when I saw that in the Performance Center, I was like, Brandon, are you telling me that there's a chance for getting white helmets? And he wouldn't confirm or deny. Yeah. But just seeing that, I was like, man. So seeing what I saw when you all played Northeastern State, I was like, man, this is some top-notch stuff right there. Like even John Fitzgerald had to admit, okay, yeah, that was clean, and he's a stickler for the
the traditional.
Yeah, the traditional. Yeah. So I was like, okay, now when he's on board, then we got something.
That's an All-American, yeah.
Exactly. Well, before I let you fellows go, I also have to ask now, because the NFL draft is over and done. Now, I know Payton's a fellow Steelers fan. Are you satisfied as I am with that draft that we had? Because I was surprised we traded up again, and then we got an offensive tackle. I was about to cry tears of joy right there.
I felt like a kid on Christmas. Darnell Washington. I was like, I felt like a kid on Christmas. I felt like a kid on Christmas.
When they picked him, I'm like, is this Pittsburgh taking the best player available?
JPJ? I mean, we're going to have Joey Porter Jr. I mean, his dad was a stud. I mean, I felt like a little kid. And that's not to speak. The kid from Purdue is supposedly
like
one of the biggest sleepers in the draft. He's 6'3", both those guys 6'3" playing corner. I mean, I feel like I feel excited to watch it. And obviously, Broderick is going to be a game changer. Who do you think? I will ask you this question: who do you think he replaces, Dan Moore or Chuck?
It's got to be Dan Moore, right? Like I feel like Dan Moore is. I mean, again, he was a fourth rounder, but yeah, I just think that'd be Dan Moore. I will say I was disappointed they signed Mason Rudolph back today. I was like, come on.
Mitchell Trubisky seems to be out of Pittsburgh. Yeah, Ahkello Witherspoon's supposedly on his way out of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, well, because they signed Luke Baccaro.
Yeah.
So then I figured that Pittsburgh's cheap. They get super often, and they'll do it. Danny, now I know you're a Saints fan. I saw they took Jake Hayner down like the 3rd or 4th round. You think he could be the future franchise quarterback down there?
I don't know. We're gonna have to see how he do in the preseason. I mean, we just signed Derek Carr a 4-year contract, and then we got Jameis. So even when Derek Carr's done, Jameis, he gonna get another shot to start. And even number 2 pick, he went 4-1 before he got hurt. So he just needed
5,000-yard passer.
Nah, he can do it. He can play. So we gonna see.
Now, how hurt were you when Sean Payton came out of retirement and then decided he wanted to coach Denver instead? Like, I know you were holding out hope that maybe Dennis Allen was a placeholder, right? He comes back recharged, just slide him in there. But he's now in Denver. So as a Saints fan, like, how you feeling about that?
Nah, I was kind of salty about it. I mean, it's never gonna feel right seeing him on that team. But if we ever play the Broncos, we need to smoke them by like 60. And we can do it. Dennis Allen, he a good defensive coordinator. He be putting us in the right position to win. So I believe in him, and I think we actually gonna be straight this year.
Okay. Now, Jalik, remind me again who your favorite team was. I can't remember offhand.
I'm gonna be honest. I've come to the realization that my favorite team wasn't a team; it was just my favorite player, and that's Aaron Rodgers. And when he Jets, I fell out of love with Green Bay, and I was like, "Yeah, me and Green Bay just won't work anymore." I just don't know why. I like the Jets though. Jets, man, they're gonna be pretty good. You know what I'm saying?
Jets, Jets.
Jets.
You got to learn it.
It's tough. Okay. Well, we do have a final question here from Mr. Perry. He said, which game that UCO has won left you on the floor completely drained? Now, I know for me, I think it was that Champs Heart of Texas Bowl with the comeback for the ages. We know our dear friend Dante McGee kind of helped spark that. That was insane. I just remember like watching that. Like they had a good opening drive. I think Chandler scored a touchdown. Things went very bad, and next thing I know, it's like touchdown, and then Colt Ninja gets the pick to end the game, and I'm just sitting there like speechless. So, because Payton's been here longer, so which game to you kind of had that similar feeling?
And I'm reading the question. It says that that we won. Washburn in 2019 when we went to Washburn.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
That was a really intense game, a really hard hitting game, and both the teams really wanted to win in that game. We were both like 5-6, 4-7 around there. So they kick it off and they threw it back. It was a crazy ending. Like I say that, like that was a pretty intense game. That and then that or the Carney game in 2019 was
when Ja'Cory like hold it over in the end. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, too. Brian Burns, he jumped on he had caused a fumble on the boundary side, on the visitor side. It was a really good game.
Yeah, I remember the Washburn game too, because like Chandler Garrett like willed him down there, and then it should have been a late hit call, or they didn't call, but yeah, they got the field goal. Yeah. Now Jalik's only been here for 11 games, but is there any of those 11 games that kind of fit that bill for you?
It's got to be like a toss-up between like I want to say Emporia and Northwest. Like the mental frustration in those games was just crazy because both games were just so close. We were on edge like the whole entire time, like ready for the next play, ready for the next everything, man. And I was at the end of that game. I mean, I was just mentally just exhausted. Like, man, we won, but dang, that was a great game. It was just one of those games, man.
And I gotta ask now, Danny, are you still playing NCAA 14?
I keep putting it on mute. Yeah, I was just playing earlier today.
Danny, we gotta play. I play every day.
Wait, hold on, wait a minute. What now? Wait.
I play every day. I play every day.
Wait a minute. How do we not learn? What?
Yeah, I play every day. We gotta play. I play it on the PS2. I got NCAA 08 on the PS2, NCAA 09 on the PS2.
Yeah,
I'll
but
be playing
08 has that
14.
yeah, but you gotta if you're gonna go PS2 though, you gotta go like NCAA 06 though.
Ooh,
I mean, I'm a big fan of 08. I'm a big fan of 08, but I'm a Pat White. Like, I think Pat White's one of the best players in NCAA franchise history. He was unstoppable running the option on that game. But yes, those are good. I do have those as well. But yeah,
I was
those
not,
NCAAs, I love them.
I was not aware of this. Okay, now, Danny, are we still doing that Idaho dynasty?
Yeah, for sure. I'm in like year 7 now, so I've just been bored just playing.
Yeah.
Now, and I have to ask Payton now, do you low lock cheese? Because Danny brought to my attention, this man low lock cheese is like, do we not have any integrity when building a dynasty? I mean, like, isn't that the whole point? Is to grind it out, recruit realistically?
Yeah, and I kind of do that. I mean, I try to only recruit guys who are gonna play here. I try to do it as realistic as I can. I'm not gonna get a bunch of 5 stars and have them. I'm not gonna have 80 of them. That just doesn't make the game fun. I like to have a guy who's 73 but is fast or something like that. See how good he could fit into the system. But I mean, I don't know. We all play different.
Dude, but
I don't play PS2 or NCAA 08, so I don't know about them.
Well, that's on PS3 too. When I'm at Maryland right now. Like, my recruiting, like, we're good, but I don't like to try to overpower us. I try not to get 5-star upon 5-star.
See, that's the way to do it. See, you got to get that organic build. You over here trying to jump the gun and compete with Bama year 1.
Yeah, you putting. Well, I mean, we competing because this offense I'm running is amazing. I mean, I'm one of the best coordinators in the country, but
for sure,
the defense is probably gonna suck.
Now we're not spamming the 4 verse and the read option, are we now?
We run triple. We run triple out of pistol, out of shotgun. We do it all, and then we spread them out, go empty. Yeah, but I'm running a lot of post, a lot of corners. We do verts, but there's always a post concept underneath it or something. Like, I like to try to make it make me feel like I'm coaching a game. I don't like to just spam certain plays.
Okay. I think is it Carson Trimble is also an NCAA guy as well. So
I'd like to play Carson.
You might want to add.
I'd like to play Danny too.
Yeah. I know. I think Danny runs like a multiple offense where he uses fullbacks and tight ends and stuff. So
I'm in that too.
I was like, dang. I'm usually
a little pro style. Yeah, I'm in that too. Yeah, we got a little.
I give you props for the pro style on that game because it favors the spread in the worst way. So
100%.
I give you all props. Yeah, I'm usually I'm like an air raid guy, so I'm not gonna.
Oh, it's fun.
Yeah, I did try pro style though. It's not bad. I'm like, you know what? It's actually fun to run the ball 20 times a game, but
Yeah, we're averaging 265, on the year and 325 passing. I try to be balanced, call 16 runs, 16 pass.
What's your quarter length?
10 minutes.
Oh, okay. I was hearing that. I'm like, dang.
I don't play defense. I try to act like I'm an offensive emphasis head coach, so I don't really mess with my defense. I'll look at it sometimes or watch them play defense or come in, but I don't try to play defense.
Yeah, see,
because then I'm gonna blow people out.
Yeah, see, I don't play defense. I choose the play, but I don't control anybody. That makes sense. I'll choose the play. Then, if there's an interception, okay, I'll control the returner. But I don't actually because it's too easy to get sacks and use your pick. So yeah,
I agree.
I understand. Okay. Well, good. I didn't know that. We have one more question from Mr. Perry here. Which UCL football player do you look up to, current and or past?
Man, Keith Traylor is a goat. I mean, but I would say I say anybody I played with in the past, like Colton Lindsay, Clay McKenzie, Dustin Baskis, I can go down the list. Like I really do. I look up to a lot of the guys who I played with in the past because without them, I wouldn't be, the guy, like the college football player I am today, because they taught me so much about how to be a college player, how to go about things, So all those guys I played with. You could look up anybody from 2018, to now who graduated. Like I look up to all those guys. Like the real deal. Good people to me. Most.
Jalik, do you have a current teammate of yours that you look up to?
Yeah, man. Similar to P. Scott, P. Scott's naming all these guys who played in the 80s, and P. Scott played in the 90s. So I would say, dudes like P. Scott, I look up to him a lot. I look up to guys like Johnny Bizzle, JB, man. He taught me a lot being a UCO Bronco, man. He was also a UCO Bronco in the 90s. Dude was here for a long time. Dante McGee, man. Dante is what, 42 now? He was a guy I looked up to a lot, man. Nah, seriously though, Dante, those two have taught me a lot, and I appreciate both of them, man.
Yeah. I say
go ahead, Payton.
Like Brian Burns is another guy. He wasn't like the best like football player, I would say. Like I'm not gonna say that. Like he didn't have the best career here, like statistic wise and stuff, but like he started games and things, but like off the field and everything, there's like as a football player and stuff, like he's done the most in my life to kind of impact, my thought process as a person, as a man, just building, intelligence and knowledge and everything. Like there's never been anybody that invested in me like him. I just wanted to make that point before.
And Danny, so far in your short time, is there a teammate of yours that you kind of look up to?
I would say not one specific player, but definitely like the veterans or the people that have been around here a long time. I just respect them, and like when they have something to say, I'll just listen.
Yeah.
You've never listened to me in your life. That's crazy.
You ain't a veteran. You play a year here. I'm joking. I'm joking.
My bad.
You gotta. In the fall, you are a certified vet. You made it through a spring. Hey, you made it through a spring, my man.
Thank you, sir.
Oh wow. Okay.
I know that sounds crucial, but I think the two guys on this understand what that means. But
yeah. Well, I appreciate you gentlemen taking time out of your Wednesday evening to come on, talk some UCL football with us. I do appreciate it. I'm wishing you all, the best, the off season and heading into fall camp, and I'm sure I'll be in touch with you all when we get closer to season, fall camp, whatever it might be. But you definitely have to get some NCAA games. And now I know Danny's on the 360. Are you on the 360 as well, Payton, or are you on the PS3?
I'm a PlayStation guy.
Okay.
But I play 360.
You do?
Okay. On any console.
Okay, we might gotta, because I think is the online.
You got new rosters? You got new rosters, Danny?
You say what?
You got new rosters? Like you download new rosters on there?
I can't.
Can you hear me? JD?
Yeah, I can.
I can.
Get here. Hey, it's tough. But
if he got the new rosters on there, yeah. I mean, I
think he has I don't think he has the revamp rosters though. I think he has like the 2020 rosters. I think is what he was going with.
Oh, okay. See, I was gonna do the revamp on my PlayStation, but I'm worried like I do the revamp, the PS3 is just gonna break down, and then I'm like, I don't have a PlayStation 3, and the disc is in there, and the disc is $100.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say because like if we were all on the same console, we could like do an online dynasty, but I don't because I think I know Carson I think is on the 360. So, but okay, we'll figure that out. We'll figure that out somehow. Get that going. That could be pretty cool. We got to put some house rules on Danny though.
Yeah,
do a lot of cheesing over there, so we have to set some ground rules. But I really do appreciate you gentlemen taking time, and I said I'm wishing you the best in your summer, your off season, heading into fall camp, and anytime you want to do this again, just let me know, and we'll set something up, barring Mother Nature, who postponed this twice. So I'm glad we were actually able to get this done. I know it's kind of late at this point, but I appreciate you all being flexible and still willing to come on and talk some UCL football. So thank you to everybody that came, Dante, Mr. Perry. Appreciate all the interaction and stuff. And so I hope you all have a good evening, and we'll be talking to you all later.
Yeah, appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, thank you.